All right. All right. Welcome to those of you in the room and those on Zoom. Today we're going to spend a fair bit of time on our backs and on our bellies. And I just want to say to those of you on Zoom, if you are on a soft surface like a bed on your belly, keep your arms in close. I think everything will work, but just always listen to your body and notice how everything's landing with you. We're going to start on our backs today. Yeah. So just take a second here to let your body settle. Let your body settle in the space wherever you are. And notice your feet on the floor. If you're in constructive rest, your knees are bent. Notice that your sacrum is on the floor, kind of probably pretty solidly on the floor. Maybe a little space under the low back with the curve, natural curve of the spine. The rib cage part of the spine, the ribs on the floor. Check in with your shoulders. I notice I'm holding mine up a little bit off the floor. See if you can just let those shoulders drop back. And finally, the back of our necks off the floor, heads pretty firmly on the floor. Do what you like with your arms to make yourself feel safe and secure. Maybe palms down or palms up or palms resting on your belly, whatever lands with you today. And let your whole body be heavy. Let your belly be soft. Allow your breath to just be natural. However you're breathing right now is just fine. And then with each inhale, imagine your body growing a little lighter. And with each exhale, imagine your body settling on the earth a little heavier. And do that a few times. As you rest into this, you might notice your belly begin to rise and fall. Or maybe you notice your breath more at your nostrils. Just take note of that. Good. Let's do one or two more breaths. Nice. And then go ahead and reach your hands to the ceiling. We're going to do a little with the shoulder blades today. Reaching up to the ceiling and notice your shoulder blades pull away from the floor, away from your spine. Let your arms drop back down, a little heavy on the floor. And then we'll reach up again. Yeah, and arms could come all the way down or they could just drop back to the shoulders. It's up to you what feels good today. Listen to your body and what it needs. Good. Let's do one more. Good. And then drop your shoulder blades down. Take your arms up overhead. They don't have to go to the floor, just as far as feels nice. And then exhale, bring your palms back down by your sides. And do that a few times, inhaling up and exhaling down. Two more at your own pace. If you like, you could do a big sighing exhale. Good. Let your palms rest at your sides. We're going to start from the other end of our bodies now. Feet are firmly on the floor. You could walk them in a little bit if that feels good. And we're going to start to roll up the spine, one vertebrae at a time, up off the mat. So hips are high. And then really gently rolling back down. See if you can at least imagine that you're moving one vertebrae at a time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. Maybe two more like that. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And inhaling up And exhaling down. Nice. And we'll put those two movements together. Let's add our arms now. If it feels nice to you, take them all the way up overhead. Otherwise, just up to the ceiling. Inhaling up, we're getting nice and light. Exhaling down, the body gets heavy, the arms get heavy. Release back to the mat. Do a few of those at your own pace. Filling up with air on the way up. Maybe a sighing exhale on the way down. Good. One more. Good. Leave your hands by your sides, back on the floor. Take your feet a little wider, maybe on your mat, and let your knees drop together. Take a second to just check in with that. How does it feel today? Notice if it made you pull your shoulders up off the mat, maybe split the knees a little bit. And we'll start to just windshield wiper knees side to side. Start small. Notice the motion at your hips. Notice if one side moves a little more fluidly than the other, that's normal. Notice any sounds, any snap, crackle, pop. And then let's come back to center. Take both knees now, draw them in towards your chest. We're going to give ourselves a little back massage to start off today. So circle your knees one direction. And then switch and go the other way. Come on back to center. Let's keep that right knee. Hands to the knee. We're going to take the left leg out long. Go ahead and let it rest on the floor. If it means that knee's a little bit bent, that's okay. Otherwise, go ahead and stretch it out long. We're going to draw right knee up toward our chests. Yep. And then once it gets to a comfortable place, externally rotate at the hip, just as far as is comfortable. A little stretch there for the hip. Nice. And we'll come back to center. Let's straighten that right leg. And if that means the left leg bends, that's okay. Maybe draw your toes back towards your face and point your toes a few times, just warming up that right leg. Good. And then let your right leg bend. Take it with your left hand, right hand out to the side on the floor. And we're going to really slowly, gently take that leg across. Maybe it goes all the way to the floor. Most likely not. So just as far as feels nice. And then let your body come back to center. Take both knees into your chest again. Maybe a few circles here. And then let's keep that left leg. Right leg stretches out long or maybe stays a little bit bent. Go ahead and squeeze that left knee up as far as feels good. Yep. And then we'll take that left leg to the outside, a little external rotation at your hip. And we'll come back to center. Let that leg straighten, see what happens to that bottom leg. It might bend, and that's okay. And then we'll take a few point and flex here. Checking in with the ankle. And then let your left knee bend. Take your right hand and just gently move that leg across to a comfortable twist. And come on back to center. All right. We're going to warm up our core muscles a little bit. So feet on the floor, and we're just going to reach side to side. That might mean that you kind of drag your head across your mat. If that feels icky, go ahead and pick your head up and just touch feet on one's foot on one side and on the foot on the other side. Penguins, right? Nice. Good. Come on back to center. Bring your head down, knees up, elbows toward our knees. And usually these are called dead bugs, but we're going to call them happy bugs. It's almost spring. We like bugs. Drop your left knee and your right hand down to the mat and then squeeze them back together. And then left hand, right toes. Yeah, you might imagine there's a little water above you and below you. Maybe we're lying on little rafts in the sun. Or just dipping our toes and our fingers in the water. Let's add a little breath to this. Let's inhale as we drop and exhale as we squeeze back together. Inhale, exhale, squeeze. One more each side. Good. Let that go. Let everything just drop to the mat. Let your legs sway side to side. We'll come back to that with some other options. So you could come right back to that first happy bug, or you could bring elbows to knees and reach a left leg and right arm straight out and up. And we'll do the other side, taking a little bit more core strength here. Let's add some breath. So as we expand, we'll inhale. And as we squeeze in, we'll exhale. Let's do one more each side. Nice. Drop your hands and your feet back to the floor. Maybe let your legs sway. Maybe even turn your head the opposite direction as of your legs. All right. So either of those first two bugs are fine. Or if you like, take your arms and your legs out, and we're going to reach up alternate arm and leg, just if that feels good. Otherwise, do a bug. Maybe we exhale as we reach and inhale to expand. You might even pick your head up if that feels good today. About one more each side. Nice. Drop it back down. Bring your hands to your sides. Let your knees bend. Sway it out a little bit. Let it go. All right. Let's come back to center. I'm going to do a little Pilates here. Bring your shins up parallel to the floor, hands to your ankles. Yep. And we're going to make snow angels here. So inhale, arms and legs reach. Exhale around. You could have your head up or your head down. Good. Two more. Go ahead and drop your feet back to the mat. One last time, let your legs sway side to side. Yep, and we're going to come up for one more while we're here on our backs. So hands behind the head. Bring your legs up, and this isn't a mistake. Take your left elbow to your left knee. Notice if your body wants to go the other way. Notice if you're crossing your body. Left elbow to left knee. Everybody there? All right, right elbow to right knee. Hold that. Left elbow to left knee. Nice. Right elbow to right knee. And then just pick up the pace a little bit. Let's exhale every time a knee comes in. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Go ahead and drop your head down. This time, reach your arms up overhead if that feels nice, or bring them to goalpost or cactus arms if you like. And just take a nice stretch here. Maybe so much that your low back comes way up off the floor. And release that. Move your legs over to the left. Scoot your arms over to the left. So now we're a banana shape with our bodies, opening up the right side body. And come back to center. And we'll do the same on the other side, moving feet and arms across to the other side. Yeah, sometimes it feels like your body wants to roll on the side, but we're trying to stay, unless it feels icky, we're trying to stay on our backs. And come on back to center. All right, really slowly, we've been on our backs quite a while. Come on up. We're coming up to all fours. Yeah, change of position. Take a second to just settle in here. Find a nice neutral spine to start. And then if you've been here before, you know this. We're going to do an invisible cat. Nobody can see this. We're just going to turn on the muscles that would take us to that Halloween cat. I notice a little more weight in my hands. I notice a little engagement in my upper back. You might notice other things. Let that go. Turn on the muscles that would take you into a cow. Notice what you notice. And then start to move between the two in a way that feels good to your body. And when we're on our knees, if you need to roll your mat or fold your mat to pad your knees, feel free to do that. Yeah, so we're looking down at our belly buttons in cat and out at the end of the mat in cow. Nice. Bring a little organic movement to that if you like. Maybe a little shifting side to side or rocking the shoulders or anything else that feels good. Take your left leg out behind you, toes to the mat, and do a little back and forth. Check in with the back of your leg, the calf, the hamstrings. And then keeping your toes pointing down, go ahead and float that leg up just to hip height. Yeah, on elbows is a great option. If you're on your hands, option to take your right arm, your opposite arm forward. Yeah, good. You could stay here, or you could do some crunches, bringing knee to elbow. It challenges the balance a little bit, works the core. Good, one more. And then an option. Take your arm out to the side, let your knee bend. You've done this one a few times if you've been here. Roll those arms and legs in like you're giving yourself a hug and bringing that knee in. Good, last one. Nice. Bring your hand back to the mat, step your leg across, and maybe look back at it. Yeah. And we'll bring that back in. We've had this supporting hand here for a bit. So the hand that wasn't doing the crunches, take it out to the side and slide it through. Maybe come down to your shoulder if that's available, or to the side of your head. Just really gently here. Yeah. And then go ahead and roll that all the way back up and bring your hand down. Good. Left leg back, whatever leg wasn't back before. Oh, you know what? Right leg back. Rock it a little bit. And then float your leg up. Get toes pointing down. Add your opposite arm. Yeah, breathe here. Just check in with the balance. Totally fine to have your hand close to the floor as well. And if you like, go ahead and start crunching in. Elbow to knee. Beautiful. Good. Last one. Hold this one out. Option to bring the arm out to the side. Let the knee bend and wrap through. We'll just do 3 of these. 3, 2. Nice. Go ahead and bring your hand down. Step your leg across. Have a look back. And come on back to center. That hand that just did all the supporting, let it float up. Swing it through. Come to your shoulder or your head. And we'll come all the way back up. Nice. And come to sitting. Let's get off our wrists for a little bit. Take your wrists, just shake them out. If it feels good to sit cross-legged, go ahead and do that. Put your hands up, do this, and look around the room. This is awesome. Let's take arms out to the sides and do a little bit of a wrap. Take your left hand and give yourself a hug, one direction. See if you can sit up pretty tall. Legs out are fine. Legs crossed are fine. Yeah. We need a hug the other way too. Big hug the other way. Good. Come on back to center. Let your chin drop down to your chest. We're just going to let it go for a minute here. Drop it down, bring it up. Just as far as feels good to you. Good. And then take your head gently side to side. And then slide your chin back and forth across your chest. See if you can let go of any tension in the shoulders. Good. And then let's take both arms to the sky, really nice and light. Drop your right hand to the floor. Right hand reaches up and then over. So we're trying to keep both sides of our bodies long. If this feels really nice to you, take a little diagonal twist out over that knee or the legs to the side. And then come all the way up. Place your hand on your head. We're not pulling. We're just giving it some weight. Go ahead and let your head drop to the left. Reach that right arm out. Nice. And we'll come all the way up. Big inhale. Float your left hand down. Reach your right hand to the sky. Find all that space across the right chest. And then if you liked it on the other side, a little diagonal shape here. Good. As we come up, place your right hand on your head. Just let it drop to the side. Reach out with your left. Good. Come on back to center. Get a little twist on each side. And when we twist, think of twisting from the belly button up. So we're kind of letting our abdomen stay forward. Yeah. And shake it out. All right. Come on over to your belly. It doesn't matter which way you face. We're going to play here a little bit on our bellies. Again, if you're on a soft surface at home, arms are going to stay bent. Let's take hands close to the chest and just find some baby cobras. If you're on a soft surface, these are tiny. These are so tiny. We're barely lifting up. If you're here on the floor at home, you can go up a little higher if that feels okay. Think of putting more movement in your upper back than your low back. We're not dumping into our low backs, finding some mobility in our upper backs. Beautiful. Come on down. Take your right hand out to the side. If you're on the floor, not on a soft surface, take your left hand out to the side. If you're on a soft surface, we're in cactus. And then just gently lift your upper body. Hands maybe hover an inch off the floor. Reach your legs long. Notice if you can breathe here. 2 breaths. Nice. Bring it down, bring your forehead to your hands, let it go. The letting go is just as important as the engagement. And if you're on soft surface, arms are going to come right back to that same place. If you're on the floor, option to reach your arms in the front instead of the sides. And we're going to come up one more time, maybe lifting hands or elbows an inch or 2 off the floor. See if you can keep your head in line, your neck neutral, by not looking up too far. Good. And forehead to hands. Last one. Let's bring hands back by the sides and just lift your toes up off the floor just a little bit. And then option to lift your shoulders up off the floor. So we're here in a really low locust, just hovering off the floor. And go ahead and drop it back to the floor. Bring your forehead to your hands, let it go, and notice. And then a little different position. Reach your arms out or your arms to the side. And what we're going to do is lift the opposite arm and leg. It might be with elbows bent. It might be with arms in front. Just go back and forth, lifting opposite arm and leg. Again, those bent elbows work just fine. See if you can keep your head in line. Even if it looks like I'm not, I'm just trying to keep the microphone up off the floor so your head doesn't have to come up that high. Good. Either stay with this, or if you're on the floor and you like the Pilates swim, come up and just flutter your arms and legs for a few breaths. We inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Very good. Drop your forehead to your hands. Let it go. Just rest. And then very gently bring yourself up. Neutral spine to all fours. Yeah. Start to find a little cat-cow. Go slow. We were just all back bendy. Maybe a little swinging side to side or circling around or anything else that feels good. All right. In any way you like, move yourself to downward dog. And we're not going to be here real long. But if downward dog feels nice to you, let your heels drop down. Draw your chest a little toward your legs. Give a little press with your hands. Just hang out here 2 breaths. And then gently walk your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. It doesn't matter. Hands to thighs. We're going to roll up really slowly. Shake it out. We're looking very serious. I think we need some hips. Take your hips and circle them all the way around. And then go the other way. All right. And then if you like, maybe some of those figure eights. That's a thinker. Notice which direction you're going. Just for fun, see if you can switch it. Good. And shake it out. Let's inhale both arms up and play with chair just a little bit. Sit down, can be daddy bear chair, not too low. Inhale up. Could be that medium mama bear chair, a little lower. Inhale up. Either of those are fine. Or sinking down into baby bear chair. Little tiny chair. Yeah. Any of those levels are fine. Wherever your hips are comfortable. Let your feet walk a little bit. Option for our balance today, come to your toes. If that feels yucky to your feet, keep your heels down. Go ahead and drop your heels, will splash all the way up. And exhale, forward fold, let it go. Hands could be on your thighs, they could be on the floor, they could be grabbing elbows. Notice what feels good to your low back. And then hands to thighs, and we'll come all the way up for just a few warriors today. A little warrior flow here. Bring your hands heart center. Let's take right foot toward the wall. And left foot is tipped in as much as feels good to you. Yeah, notice your stance. Do your stance, right? Might be shallow, might be big. Doesn't matter. We're finding our arms in warrior two. Here's a fun thing. Tip your fingers up. Kind of engages things, doesn't it? Drop your shoulders. Yeah. Take your right hand to the sky. Good. Exhale your right elbow to your right knee. Take your left hand across the horizon. Remember how we find this little opening at the top? If that feels good. Good. Take that arm down, and we'll come all the way up to warrior two. Let's do it one more time. If it felt good to have your fingertips up, go ahead with that. We'll turn that front hand to the sky. Elbow comes to the knee. Take the left hand across the horizon. And that nice opening. Good. And then swing that arm down, something different. Come to warrior two. Good. Turn your toes forward. And we're just going to walk ourselves on over to the other side. Left foot's in front now. Yeah. Do what you need to do to reset over here. And if you like the fingers up, we'll take fingers up. Good. Left hand reaches to the sky. Left elbow to your knee. Right hand comes across the horizon. Find that nice little opening. Yeah, and then the kind of strange thing, take your right hand down towards the floor, swings us back up to warrior two. Good. Reset your shoulders. Fingertips up if that feels good to you. Let's do that again because that looks so fun. Take your fingers up. Nice. Take your left hand to the sky. Left elbow to your knee. Right hand comes across the horizon until that finds that opening. Beautiful. Right hand reaches to the floor. We come back to warrior two. And turn your toes forward. Hands to thighs. Just shake it out a little bit. Um, it can feel nice to do some organic movement with the shoulders here. Or if it feels better to you, keep them in line, drop them across, or just leave them out altogether. Good. And then however you like, bring yourself back down to the floor. Let's take let's take one stretch sitting before we get down on the floor. Take legs wide. We're going to sit up really nice and tall. And then turn towards your left leg and walk down toward it without dropping your head to start. Once you've gone as far as you can, if you like, go ahead and drop your head. And then walk yourself back up. We'll face the other leg, walk it down, keeping head lifted. Yeah. And then go ahead and release that head if that feels good to you. And we'll walk back up. Good. Go ahead and come to your back. Let's come to our sides. We're going to get into our twist a different way today. I think bring your knees up pretty high. Yep. So we're kind of in a fetal position here. In a second, it'll feel good to drop head to the floor. But take your top hand, got my hands together. Take your top hand, slide it up the bottom arm, all the way across your collarbone, and let it drop to the side. Maybe that arm reaches all the way out. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe that arm reaches out and you look toward it. It just depends. Good. We're going to fold that arm back in. Take it all the way back until it touches your other hand. And then bring yourself to your back. And we'll just turn to the other side. So knees are up kind of high. We're going to slide the top arm up and over just as far as feels nice. Good. And then go ahead and unwind that. And come to your back. Several options here for our ending pose. You could bring your knees into your chest with head up or down. You could move into a one-leg happy baby where you grab the bottom of the foot or the shin and behind the knee and draw that leg in. Or you could move into a full happy baby holding both feet or behind the knees. Any of those are great options. If you're doing the one leg happy baby, I'll tell you when we're halfway. If you got both legs up, it might feel nice to rock side to side. And if you got one leg up, go ahead and switch. And then as you're ready, go ahead and bring your feet to the floor. You could stretch out long in Shavasana. You could stay in constructive rest. You could come to sitting. However, whatever position you find most restful. And then one more time this morning, or I guess it's not morning anymore, this afternoon, just kind of arrive. Allow your body to be heavy and rested. And check in from the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet. And then notice where it's easiest for you to feel your breath in your body and turn your attention there. Just keep your attention on your breath, that easy inflowing and outflowing of air. And if there's noise, let there be noise. Just gently guide your attention back to the breath. If there's sensation in your body, let there be sensation. And again, gently guide your attention back to your breath. If there are thoughts, let there be thoughts. That's what our brains do. And again, gently guide your attention back to your breath. And know that every time we do this, we build a little skill in directing our attention. And then let that go and start to bring a little movement back to your body. Moving in any way that's calling to you, maybe a couple stretches or a couple deep breaths. And if you're flat on your back, let your knees bend. And then go ahead and turn on one side. And pause there. And then gently bring yourself up to sitting. May we dwell in safety. May we be happy and healthy. May we be at peace. Namaste. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye, Zoomies.